Cotton was such an important part of the plantation system that it came to be called king cotton. The enormous amount of hand labor required to grow and pick the cotton was supplied by great numbers of slaves. This, then, was the economic background of the plantation. Cheap slave labor producing one main crop on vast tracts of land owned by the planter.
Welcome to our channel, Science Maniatics, where we take a closer look at the latest technology news. Roxy here, and today we're talking about ChatGPT, the popular and eerily human-like chatbot created by OpenAI. But there's a dark side to this technology. According to a new investigation by Time, the chatbot was built on the backs of underpaid and psychologically exploited employees. For this story, Time reviewed hundreds of pages of internal Sama and OpenAI documents, including workers' payslips, and interviewed 4 Sama employees who worked on the project. All the employees spoke on condition of anonymity out of concern for their livelihoods. A team in Kenya, managed by a company called Sama, was paid low wages to clean ChatGPT of dangerous hate speech and violence. The team had to read hundreds of disturbing and graphic entries a day for wages as low as $1 to $2 an hour. Some employees felt that their jobs were mentally scouring and a certain kind of torture. The workers were not only exposed to graphic sexual content, but also hate speech, violence, and other disturbing content, which had a detrimental effect on their mental health. Sama offered employees wellness sessions and therapy, but several employees interviewed said the reality of mental health care at the company was disappointing and inaccessible. They reported that the counselors were not trained to deal with the specific trauma that they were facing, and that they were not given enough time to process their experiences. The firm responded that they took the mental health of their employees seriously, but the question remains, is that really enough? The success story of ChatGPT is not just about Silicon Valley genius. The work was necessary because the AI's predecessor was prone to blurting out violent, sexist, and racist remarks. This is because it was trained on hundreds of billions of words scraped from the internet, which included a lot of toxicity and bias. In order to make ChatGPT more suitable for everyday use, OpenAI had to build an additional AI-powered safety mechanism to rein in that harm. It could also help scrub toxic text from the training datasets of future AI models. If this is the case, it means that we as mankind have some serious issues that need to be addressed. I can see why Sam Altman, the CEO of the company, is more concerned with the technology being used the wrong way than the upside of it. To build a safety system, OpenAI followed in the footsteps of social media companies like Facebook and fed an AI with labeled examples of violence, hate speech, and sexual abuse. This tool was then built into ChatGPT to check if it was echoing the toxicity of its training data and filter it out before it ever reached the user. But this begs the question, is it ethical to use low-paid workers to clean up the internet's toxic content? OpenAI's outsourcing partner in Kenya was Sama, as mentioned before, a San Francisco-based firm that employs workers in Kenya, Uganda, and India to label data for Silicon Valley clients like Google, Meta, and Microsoft. Sama markets itself as an ethical AI company, but is this really ethical? To get the needed data, tens of thousands of snippets of text were sent to Sama beginning in November 2021. Much of that text appeared to have been pulled from the darkest recesses of the internet. The story of the workers who made ChatGPT possible provides an insight into the working conditions in this little-known sector of the AI industry, which nonetheless plays an important role in the effort to make AI systems safe for public consumption. Despite these data enrichment professionals' foundational role, a growing body of research reveals the precarious working conditions these workers face. says the Partnership on AI, a coalition of AI organizations to which OpenAI belongs. This may be the result of efforts to hide AI's dependence on this large labor force when celebrating the efficiency gains of technology. Out of sight, out of mind. OpenAI does not disclose the names of the outsourcers with whom it collaborates, and it is unclear why. Even as the overall tech economy slows in anticipation of a downturn, investors are rushing to pour billions of dollars into generative AI, the sector of the tech industry in which OpenAI is unquestionably the undisputed leader. The most optimistic investors believe that computer-generated text, images, video, and audio will transform the way countless industries do business, increasing efficiency in everything from the creative arts to law and computer programming. However, the working conditions of data labelers reveal a darker side of that picture, that for all its glitz, AI frequently relies on unseen human labor in the global south, which can be harmful and exploitative. Even though their work contributes to multi-billion-dollar industries, these unseen workers remain on the periphery. Time discovered that the same group of employees was given additional work to compile and label an enormous set of graphic, and increasingly illegal, images for an undisclosed OpenAI project. Sama's contract with OpenAI expired in February 2022. ChatGPT would sweep the internet and take over chat rooms by December as the next wave of innovative AI speak. While the news of OpenAI's hidden workforce is unsettling, it's not entirely surprising given that the ethics of human-based content moderation aren't a new topic of discussion, particularly in social media spaces that are toying with the lines between free posting and protecting their user bases. The New York Times reported in 2021 that Facebook had outsourced post moderation to Accenture, an accounting and labeling firm. The two companies outsourced moderation to employee populations all over the world, only to deal with the massive fallout of an unprepared workforce. In 2020, Facebook paid a $52 million settlement to traumatized employees. The rapid takeover of ChatGPT, as well as the subsequent wave of AI art generators, raises several questions for a general public that is increasingly willing to hand over their data, social and romantic interactions, and even cultural creation to technology. Can we trust artificial intelligence to provide real-world information and services? How can designers incorporate safety into these technological advancements without jeopardizing the health of real people working behind the scenes? One thing is certain: the rapid rise of artificial intelligence as the next technological frontier continues to raise new ethical quandaries regarding the development and application of tools that replicate human interaction at a real human cost. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more technology news. What are your thoughts on this? At the speed technology and AI is currently moving, if we don't get ahead of it, we will have some serious problems. I advise you to do your own research into this matter. Why hasn't Sam Altman been questioned on this very thing? The US experienced its highest ever combined rates of deaths due to alcohol, drugs, and suicide during the first year of the pandemic. With more stresses happening because of looming war, superinflation, and so much more, this is something we cannot afford to get wrong. Should the companies and AI developers be held responsible for the mental health of the data labelers? Is it fair for companies to profit from the labor of underpaid and exploited workers? Should AI companies be required to disclose the source of their training data and the conditions under which it was collected? Should there be more regulation in place to protect the rights of workers in the AI industry? I must admit, this breaks my heart, especially with how much money these companies make to be able to truly help people. Microsoft just pledged $10 billion to OpenAI. As I close this video out, I ponder within myself, was there not a better way to train the artificial intelligence to filter out those things that wasn't at the expense of others? Are we putting machine before mankind for the sake of money? Let us know in the comments below.